Then I'm sorry. He stood up, and I could see the plaque on his desk with Drew's name already engraved on it. 1 week. Drew's ceremony was Friday. The whole school would be there to watch him accept the scholarship he stole from me. I found my girlfriend at her locker. She slammed it shut when she saw me coming. Don't. Just listen to me for 30 seconds. Drew told me what you did. You attacked someone. You're dangerous. He lied. He threw that kid through the window and I took the blame because he begged me. She shook her head and backed away. That's not what he said. Of course it's not what he said. He took my scholarship and my girlfriend and told everyone I'm a monster, and you believed him. She turned and walked away, and I slammed my fist into the locker next to me so hard the metal caved in, and everyone in the hallway jumped. My old lab partner was at his locker. I walked up to him. You know me. You've known me for 3 years. Does any of this sound like me? He wouldn't look at me. Drew said you threatened him with a knife. I have never held a knife in my life. I don't know what to believe, man. Drew showed us screenshots. He showed us texts where you said you wanted to hurt people. He faked those. I don't know that. He closed his locker and walked away, and I kicked the locker next to his so hard the metal dented, and everyone in the hallway flinched. I ate lunch alone at a table by the trash cans, and the loneliness was so sharp it pressed down on me like a physical weight. Drew's scholarship ceremony was Friday, 3 days away. The whole school would be there. Coach would hand him the plaque with my name scratched off and his written on. I ripped my phone off the nightstand and pulled up every screenshot from the night of the party. Drew's texts begging me, take the blame. I will owe you forever. I'll keep everything warm. I swear on my life. And then I remembered something. The party. Dozens of people with their phones out. Someone had been filming. I spent 2 days tracking down every person who was at that party. I called everyone in my contacts. Most wouldn't talk to me. 3 hung up the second they heard my name. I drove to the house where the party was and knocked on the door, and the kid who lived there opened it and said, Drew told me you'd come. I don't have anything for you, and shut it in my face. One kid said he had a Snapchat video of the whole night, but he deleted it. Dead end. I threw my phone across the room so hard it bounced off the wall and the screen cracked. I didn't have the video. I threw myself backward on the bed and held the cracked phone above my face. 3 days until the ceremony. 3 days until he walked across a stage and accepted my future with my name scratched off the plaque. An idea hit me so hard I stood up. I didn't need the video. Drew just needed to think I had it. His own fear would do the rest. I told 3 people I had a video from the party that proved Drew threw the kid through the window. I picked 3 people who couldn't keep a secret if you stapled their mouths shut. I told each one a slightly different detail so I'd know which version got back to Drew. By second period, the hallways were buzzing. By lunch, kids I'd never spoken to were walking up to me asking if it was true. Drew cornered me in the hallway. He grabbed the front of my shirt and slammed me against the lockers. What video? You'll see Friday. There is no video. Then why are you sweating? He shoved me harder. If you ruin this for me, you ruined everything for me. My scholarship, my girl, my friends, my reputation. You told people I was dangerous and they believed you. A teacher won't look at me because of what you said. He let go and stumbled backward, and I could see his hands shaking and the panic flooding his face. Friday, Drew. The whole school's going to be there for your ceremony, and they're going to see exactly what happened. He shoved me one more time and then stormed away and kicked a trash can so hard it bounced off the wall and rolled into the middle of the hallway. Kids scattered. I could see him pulling his phone out with shaking hands as he turned the corner. I leaned against the lockers and my heart was hammering, and I was grinning because his fear was already doing my job. I didn't have the video, but he didn't know that, and his fear was going to do my job for me. Friday. I barely slept. I got to the auditorium an hour early, and my hands were shaking as I climbed the stairs to the tech booth. I plugged my phone into the projector and tested it twice. The auditorium filled up, every seat taken. Coach stood at the podium with the scholarship plaque. Drew was in the front row in my jacket looking like he owned the room. My mom was in the back row because I'd asked her to come. I was in the tech booth with my phone plugged into the projector and my hands shaking. Coach started his speech. This year's scholarship goes to an athlete who demonstrated exceptional character and dedication. I could see Drew straightening his jacket from the booth. My jacket. The dread and the determination were fighting in my chest. I pressed play. The screen behind the stage lit up. Not a video of the party, just the texts. Drew's blue bubbles 30 feet wide. Bro, please, I'm begging you. Drew's head snapped around. The room rustled. Take the blame. I will owe you forever. Drew jumped to his feet. His face went white. I'll keep everything warm. I swear on my life. Pure panic took over Drew's face. He charged the stage. He vaulted over the first row of chairs and knocked a girl's bag off her lap and sprinted up the aisle with his face wild. He tried to jump onto the stage and missed, and scrambled up on his hands and knees and ran toward the tech booth, screaming at the top of his lungs. Turn it off! That's not what happened. I was there, but I didn't. He froze. I was there. Savage savage triumph flooded through me. The silence was so thick I could hear him breathing into the microphone he'd grabbed off the podium. A girl in the front row whispered, "Oh my God." A teacher stood up. Dead silence. I stepped out of the tech booth and walked to the front of the stage, and my heart was pounding with a grim, ferocious satisfaction, because every lie he'd told was unraveling, and he'd done it to himself. Drew was standing in the aisle with every eye in the room on him, and his own words hanging in the air like smoke. He tried to recover. "I didn't mean I wasn't. There's no video of the party, Drew." I jumped off the stage and landed. Never had one. His face crumpled. Of the stage, and my heart was pounding with a grim, ferocious satisfaction, because every lie he'd told was unraveling, and he'd done it to himself. Drew was standing in the aisle with every eye in the room on him, and his own words hanging in the air like tried to recover. "I didn't mean I wasn't. There's no video of the party, Drew." I jumped off the stage and landed in the aisle 3 feet from him. "I never had one." His face crumbled. "You just told 400 people you were there. You just told them it wasn't what happened. You just told them you needed a video turned off because it could prove something." I held up my phone. "All I had were your texts. The ones where you begged me to take the blame. The ones where you swore you'd protect my scholarship. The ones where you promised you'd fix everything." The screen cycled. His posts. Photos with my friends captioned "The Crew." Photos with my girlfriend captioned "My Girl." A post that said, "Sometimes people leave your life and you realize it was for the better." Side by side with, "You're literally saving my life right now." Drew looked around the room like a trapped animal. "He's crazy. He went to juvie because he attacked someone. I had to get a restraining order." My teammates stood up in the 5th row. "Nah, you told me the same thing, but those texts are from the night it happened, and I remember you calling me crying about it." Another teammate stood. "He told me you threatened him with a knife." I believed him. "I'm sorry." Half the auditorium was crying. My girlfriend stood up. Our eyes met, and her chin trembled, and she pressed her hand over her mouth, and turned and walked out, and the door closed behind her, and I felt nothing, because she had made her choice a month ago. Coach stepped to the microphone. His face was gray. Drew turned to him. "Did you assault that student at the party?" Drew's mouth opened and closed. "Did this young man serve a month in detention for something you did?" Drew looked around the room, and every face was turned toward him, and not one of them was on his side. "Did you use his recommendation letters to take his scholarship?" Drew grabbed my jacket off the back of his chair and shoved past the entire row, knocking a girl's bag off her lap. He shouldered through the auditorium doors, and they slammed shut, and the sound echoed off every wall. The projector was still running. His words still glowed on the wall behind the empty stage. Coach walked down from the podium. He bent down and picked my jacket up off the floor where Drew had dropped it, and I was shaking with so much emotion I couldn't name all of it. He folded it over his arm and walked it to me and held it out. "I think we need to have a conversation about that scholarship." He turned to the room. "The ceremony is postponed, effective immediately." He turned back to me. "Come to my office Monday." I took the jacket and my hands were shaking, and I put it on, and it still fit. The whole room stood up. The clapping started in the back row and spread forward and built until it was thundering off the wall.